Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Wednesday, May 17th, 2023 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is I am responsible for buying into what is valuable to me. And wow, here we are. We've got a lot of Taurus energy, a lot of Taurus vibes going on today. And I feel like this is arguably one of Jupiter's most potent days of being in the sign of Taurus. It's potent because it's coming into an exact square with Pluto. And I feel like this is setting a stage. I feel like this is going to show you where there may be a little challenge, where there could be a little tug of war in your Jupiter in Taurus experience. And it allows you to realign with your power. So that being said, as I was sitting here to record, one of the things that popped into my mind is keep like a save or I don't know, something on yesterday's scope, because I think that's going to be a really potent reminder, I'll try to do it often, of what we can do with this Jupiter and Taurus energy. If you didn't go watch it, go give it a watch and get in that vibe. Because today, like I said, it's going to be challenged. So today we have the moon joining the rest of the planets in the sign of Taurus. So as of this moment, well, not at this moment, but as of Wednesday, we're going to have the moon, Jupiter, North Node, Mercury, Uranus, and the sun all in Taurus. So if somebody's born with this many planets in a sign, the universe is like, you have lessons here. And for all of us lay people who are experiencing this right now, the universe is going, you have lessons here. Lessons on what is valuable to you, connecting to nature, relearning pleasure, recognizing your inherent worth, recognizing the worth of the gifts that you have, the gifts that you bring to this planet, among other things. And yet, it's being squared by Pluto. Now, Pluto is interesting because Pluto is here to empower us. So keep this in mind. Through any challenging energy today in the scope, Pluto is like, what are you choosing to empower? What vibe are you choosing to empower? Are you choosing to empower nature? What is valuable to you? Pleasure. Or are you getting sucked into that old conditioning, like I spoke of yesterday, of produce, make money, hustle, that energy? Because I feel like that is where Taurus has really been hijacked. And it's interesting because Pluto in Aquarius is on like the pulse of humanity. And so it'll show you what pulse you are currently tuning into. Are you tuning into the hustle? or are you able to be shifting, taking your power back, recognizing the beauty, recognizing the pleasure? What vibe is the vibe that you're on? Now, what makes this interesting to me is that the moon is getting involved. The moon is moving into Taurus early in the day, 5:27 a.m. Pacific time. Moon moves into Taurus. Dark of the moon. And so the moon is bringing the dark side of the moon. It's bringing the shadow. It's bringing the subconscious. It's bringing some of those subconscious psyche pieces where you may have been indoctrinated, where most of us, a good 99% of us, have been indoctrinated in like, this is the way of the world. We hustle, we work until we hit this certain age, and then like you can enjoy, but like mostly you have to work on your health at that age, right? No, no, this is not how it has to be. And so be aware. Be aware of those pockets of shadow, those pockets of, this is the way it is. This is the way it always has been. This is the way it needs to be. Watch where that comes up in these energies. Now, the interesting thing is that the moon moves in early in the day. Jupiter's still at 0. It's going to be at 0 for a little bit. Sorry, Sagittarius, I felt this today. You may be feeling a little as Jupiter's at 0, but that'll move on fast. But with the moon coming in, it's lighting up this energy early in the day. And then it won't be till 12 hours later that Jupiter and Pluto reach their exact square. So this energy is like it's taking its time to help us see where we need to shift. So today's not a day where you're like about shaming yourself. I'm so caught up in the hustle. I'm so afraid of lack. I don't know how to make money, any of those things. Don't be shaming yourself for that, but rather be watching, educating yourself where you tend to ride that vibrational wave and where you can shift in this energy. So it's so beautiful and it's so potent, and I love that we're getting to marinate in it. And I think this is really beautiful as we're heading to a new moon in Taurus on the 19th. And this new moon in Taurus on Friday is kind of capping off that first eclipse, because that first eclipse began in Aries, but as it moved through, it ended up in Taurus. And so this is going to be such a beautiful time for planting such potent seeds, which something just popped into my head about that. Please come back to that, Mimi. It's going to be such a beautiful time for planting these potent seeds. But right now we're clearing the stuff out of the soil that would impede this growth. So as I was saying that, talking about planting our seeds, I had a friend who did this, and I keep seeing this popping up, how people will put seeds in their mouth to get their DNA on the seeds, and that way the seeds are even more geared towards them. And there's some kind of analogy in all this energy, but I'm going to leave that up to you to interpret how that's meant to come about. But I just saw that energy as I was talking about this. Now, besides all this today, we have the moon as it's moving through Taurus also connecting to Mercury today. It's not going to connect to Uranus till tomorrow, but as it connects to Mercury, we may get ahas about the last couple of weeks as Mercury went through its retrograde. It's also connecting to the North Node. Top of the cards I have today is the consciousness card. So we have these ahas, and we also have potential insight for, again, how we can align with our values, buy into our values, pay attention to our values in and through this energy. So bring forth the consciousness. And again, this is not a day to shame yourself if you find yourself dipping. It's just a day to really pay attention, because Pluto is making this energy apparent. Moon and Saturn are also connecting in, Saturn and Pisces. That's a little bit lazy cat, but that feels like a good time that's later in the afternoon to take a little meditation time. So watch for that. Other cards I have for today, I have the Lover's card. What do you love and why do you love it? And tuning into that may get you on the vibe that you want to be in. That might be where your meditation is moving you into. We also have the Compromise card, which I always call the Don't Compromise card. Where do you find yourself compromising your values? Where do you compromise your energy? Where do you compromise yourself, and why? And is it because of something that you value? Because sometimes driving down to the hospital all those days was not easy. It was very hard on my body, and yet valuing Joe, valuing being part of his healing, valuing being present with him, topped that. And now I must not compromise my body. Now I must rest, right? So recognize that, though, where you find yourself compromising. I have the Change card in reverse, and this feels like a larger quantum shift going on. as Jupiter and Pluto are reaching this square, where you are taking your power back, where you are shifting this narrative that it's time to go. The final card, which I always love this card. Hard times require furious dancing, and we get by with a little help from our friends. Hopefully you value both of those things. But again, as you are feeling some of these plutonic colonic vibes, bringing some stuff up, this may be the shift that you need, moving it through your body. So, leaving that there for today. You can book a reading with me. Email me, mimiclark@gmail.com. Besides that, the better it gets, the better it gets. There's more than enough love in the world for you. You have the power, and honor your values. Namaste.